Death Stranding's finally been released and it's taken the world by storm. Hideo Kojima's return to gaming has been very divisive, and his brand new IP is now out for anyone and everyone to play really. Death Stranding is Kojima's successor to his Metal Gear series, and is now to be, well, now unfortunately cancelled, Silent Hill's video game. Although he did say he's interested in making a horror game, so there's that. First of all, let's take a look at what reviewers are saying about the game.
Certain landmark games in recent years, like The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Red Dead Redemption 2, have managed to successfully tread the line between the rigidity of realism and the exhilaration of pure escapism. Death Stranding possesses similarly lofty ambitions, inventive ideas, and a sprawling, spectacular map, but it's all been saddled on a backbone made of repetitive mission design and arduous traversal that simply can't support its weight over the full course of the journey.
It's a game that requires patience, compassion, and love, and it's also one we really need right now.
It's pretty confusing as to what this game is, right? Well, having played the game for multiple days straight, I'll give you my opinion on the game. Please note, I didn't receive a review copy of this game and thus play the game on launch day like everybody else. It did take me a while to finish it, but I eventually got around to doing it, so yeah, there's that. Yeah, by the way, my name is Dan, I'm from the PlayPlayShow, and we're doing something different today. The controversy behind the game has been very, interesting, to say the least. And since Ali's been at uni and he's been too busy for us to make a video together, I decided I'd make my own video and explore my personal thoughts on Kojima's new world. Before starting, I do want to thank everyone that's subscribed to us this year. I can't believe we're on our way to 200 already, so thanks guys. While you're here, if you haven't already, why don't you just subscribe and check out our videos too? We'd really appreciate that. I do want to say that this video may contain minor spoilers, but none that will spoil the story. At least I think so anyway. There will be mechanic spoilers, but if that's okay with you, feel free to carry on. So let's get into the video. The first question everyone's probably thinking is, did I enjoy it? Now, I can't give you a straight answer on that, but I actually don't know if I enjoyed it. One thing I can say for certain is that the game is very weird and unique, and I can't really compare it to another game. Kojima himself has stated that this game is a new genre, action/strand he calls it, or a strand game.
It's the first strand type game. This is the first strand type game. This is strand gameplay. You guys don't understand this.
Whatever that means, I have no idea. It's not exactly a sandbox game, nor a stealth game, although it does have stealth elements in it, and you can see that Kojima still keeps his signature stealth gameplay. The graphics are also absolutely beautiful. The characters are always crying for plot reasons, and you get to admire the beautifully designed character models. For some odd reason though, Kojima does like showing us a naked Norman Reedus. The game consists of having to deliver items from point A to point B. Is it a walking simulator? Not exactly. I can understand where all the walking simulator points are coming from, but I personally don't feel it is a walking simulator, nor a glorified one. Death Stranding has one of those things that just keep you wanting to come back for more. At launch, I played the game for about 5 hours and woke up immediately thinking that I need to go back and keep delivering and increase my stats. And this isn't something I normally think. It's like, I'm not too sure what it is that keeps bringing me back to the game. One mission you're carrying cargo, the next you're carrying a human, and it's consistently changing up how and what you deliver. You eventually get weapons, and that changes up the combat in the game. Throughout the game, you encounter people known as mules who attack you in order to steal your cargo. When I first started the game, I was absolutely terrified of them, as I felt really underpowered, but believe me guys, you are able to fight them off. Hint, use your strand in your equipment. Ali never used it, and it was a huge lifesaver for me. Eventually they become more of a nuisance, more than an actual threat. Like I said, you do get weapons later, but you don't necessarily need them for combating the mules. You do, however, need weapons for the BTs. The satisfaction of killing your first BT is amazing, and it will be something that you'll remember throughout the rest of your Death Stranding playthrough. At least, it was for me. The combat is very simple, however, I personally enjoyed the combat and thought that it was one of the best things in the game, especially after my first BT kill. I know a lot of people don't really like the combat, but the idea of just grabbing your cargo and throwing it at a mule, I just thought things like that is amazing. Now, I didn't always feel this way. It took me about 5 hours of the game to actually enjoy it. I absolutely hated the game at first. I was constantly messaging Ali about how much I hated the game, but then the game took a turnaround for the best. I couldn't believe how much fun I was having with the game for a certain amount of time, and then all of a sudden, I began to hate it again. There are points in the game where it contains no story whatsoever, or the story needs you to constantly deliver one thing after the other before it rewards you with a cutscene. Now, I don't mind doing the deliveries, but when you have like about 3 to 4 hours of gameplay with no story, just a little odd character speaking to you then and again, it does get very, very boring. However, one of the best features in Death Stranding is the online component. Now, I won't go into too much detail, as it's amazing and it's best if you experience it for yourself, but long story short is that you can see other players' builds and contribute to them. The game also incentivizes people to work together, and it helps making deliveries significantly easier. So you can like get some metal, put it together onto a road, and yeah, it just helps build the road. The next porter behind you will then use that road, and it even says that someone's been using your road, and you get an online currency that's called likes, just like social media basically, and you can accumulate your likes, and they will all go into your profile. So then everyone that shares the same instance as you, I think that's how it works anyway, everyone that shares that can then see your profile and say, hey, that guy's got 50k likes. You can also leave down signs in the game, similar to the Souls games. For example, you can leave a sign down warning players that there's a BT area ahead, so it's like a little red circle with a ghost there basically. Now, it's not as detailed as the Souls games when you can actually leave like a little message down, and those messages tend to be hilarious, but you know, it does work. And what people tend to do is that they just leave random signs in the middle of a road because people know that they'll drive over them anyway, and that then accumulates likes for the person that's left the sign down. So please don't be one of those guys. I mean, it doesn't hurt us at all, but you know, now the bit that everyone's probably been waiting for is the story of Death Stranding and what I probably think of it. Now, before I give my opinion, I do want to say I personally loved the story of Death Stranding, but it is a convoluted mess. The world is interesting, and there are a lot of creative ideas like the timefall, the BBs, the BTs, and a lot of other cool things. But too many creative ideas can lead to a convoluted plot. I'm not hating the story. Like I said, I loved Kingdom Hearts, I love convoluted plots, but I can see where the average gamer gets lost. And there are a lot of moments that don't make sense. Quite a few plot holes in the game actually. And if you guys want to speak about it, just message in the comments. Mind you, there might be spoilers in the comments, guys, so try and avoid it if you haven't finished the game. And I don't understand all the product placement in the game. Monster Energy Drink? Ride with Norman Reedus? Oh well, it's fine. But there's also a lot of peeing, which is a very weird mechanic. But it can lead to some funny circumstances. Just play your cards right. Ali showed it to me, and you can do some hilarious things with the peeing mechanic. There's also a certain sequence in the game that when you experience it for the first time, you're like, wow, that was really, really cool. But the second and third time a similar sequence happens, I began to hate it. In fact, I began to dread every time it happened, but I would play through it anyway because I knew that there was always a cool bit of story afterwards, and that's what I liked. The game would reward me with story, but I did have to go through some tedious gameplay at points. Of Death Stranding. In the UK, it became number 2 in its first week, and it was outsold by Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Its sales did make it the second biggest PlayStation exclusive that year, behind Days Gone. Now that's crazy. Days Gone outsold Death Stranding. There was a lot of marketing in Death Stranding, and I didn't see that many adverts for Days Gone or anything like that. Especially here in the UK, where the Days Gone launch really didn't seem that massive. You could honestly go a day by without even knowing that the game's come out, but Death Stranding was everywhere here, at least in London. There was posters everywhere, there was adverts everywhere, my Facebook was full of adverts. So the fact that it only launched at number 2 with a lower sales figure than Death Stranding is insane. That blows my mind. We do have a video on Death Stranding, guys, so check it out in the description if you haven't seen it. Our thoughts on the game. Well, Ali's really. I still need to finish the game, so yeah, check that video out. Now, I know it's been a bit of a weird and short video, but I honestly don't know if I enjoyed Death Stranding. Like I said, I keep thinking about it and I keep going back to it, but I dread to play the game. I've got loads of other games to play, but I keep playing it. How do you guys feel? Leave a comment and let me know.
Did you like it?
Have you guys played Death Stranding yet? If you have, what do you think? Do you guys think reviewers are actually enjoying the game, or is it the Hideo Kojima name forcing them to give it a perfect score? Does the game provide some sort of Stockholm syndrome to people that play and hate it? I honestly can't answer that question myself. Like, I'm probably a victim of that. I love and hate the game. I don't know what I think about the game. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. And thank you so much again. We're on our way to 200. Subscribing to us would mean the world to us. Thank you guys for watching, and we shall see you in the next video.